human beings are perfect here. But if we don't look at the in-depth of our problem, and we only decide to criticize, there where we'll continue to be until time immemorial. And I challenge anyone if it is not true.
Now, what do you see from your colleagues in terms of what you are offering? Do you see the possibility that they will listen to some of these things, your requests, or what you're asking them, or you would just be opening the eyes of Liberians?
Well, I was hoping for...
Since I began this campaign, a lot of my colleagues have bought the idea. A lot of them. As a matter of fact, some of them now having meetings together in trying to come together to bound together to fight these things. I think so far about 3 different meetings now has been held. And so what I'm saying to us as Liberians, it's not just about lawmaker investing. Donkey wanted to invest and they didn't let him invest.
And Senator, that's the issue I'm concerned about. Existing laws that are on the book. Your colleague might just be buying the idea without knowing what on the books. If you look at the National Forest Reform of 2006, it bars public officials from owning operating logging companies. If you look at the 2009 Community Rights Law, lawmakers are restricted. There are already existing laws that may bar you lawmakers from getting involved. And your campaign is now, like the Makori mentioned, an eye-opener that officials of government, everybody should be able to have this privilege to invest. And I'm asking you, how do you reconcile the two? There are existing laws that have not been amended.
Think about it. Who made these laws?
The laws came from you people.
So are we not having the right to?
But I'm not hearing you talk about amendment of these laws.
Wait first. You don't jump the boat. Let's start. When the baby is born, the baby has to sit. And then before taking steps, sometimes the baby, when they sit, they got to crawl. Then before it begins. So everybody have their strategy in making things to be unfolded. But there must be somebody to begin.
Are you not fighting a losing battle?
Oh, trust me. You will see the end result. Let me tell you one thing here. With this kind of a concept, there were laws on the books of these people that I want to give you an example of here. And because those laws have been transformed, I want to give you some data on them. If you look at Vietnam, when they decided to attack what they call economic liberation, that's the word they use, economic liberation, not political liberation, all right? Vietnam from 1993 to 2013, 20 years, poverty was reduced by 50%. Today, it is just 3% of the Vietnamese that are poor. Economic revolution, economic liberation. In China, everybody knows that. China just started in the year 2000. From 2000 to 2020, poverty was reduced from 49% to 0.69%. Economic liberation.
Do you think it's applicable to our society?
Look at Rwanda. Okay, maybe Rwanda far. Because Rwanda from 1995, they just started to 2015, that's 75%, they have reduced it to 30%. But that comes to Ghana. Because I am practically a witness of the Ghana poverty liberation. 1990, when the war started, we ran away from here in 1990 and won the refugee camp in Ghana. We were the second group of people that arrived there. And let me tell you one thing. The Ghanaians, when I got in Ghana, 1990, nothing you could see. But according to the data here, 1991 to 2012, the Ghanaians took 21 years under the economic liberation. They reduced the poverty from 52% to presently 13%. Now, how did they do it? Somebody got to begin talking about it. Everything about Liberians, we are afraid to become part of ourselves. What we have, we don't want to be identified with it because we are afraid that newspapers, radio will castigate. And when they are castigating, who are they castigating? They are castigating the Liberian people, not an individual. So this is the reason that I'm telling you that this revolution can go on. And so if you look at people that comes into our country and get rich overnight, and then they leave our country to us, do you think we'll always have these mineral resources on our country when they are being taken out as fast as they are taking them out? Even these guys that just signed a 15 years contract in Sino, they call them Hummingbird. Hummingbird, you can see that they have no good intention since that 15 years concession was signed. The exploration, they build mud houses just as the dwellers around the area build to do exploration over there. They have no plan to pave road. They have no plan to build tangible bridges. So if we just keep silent and be fighting for tax payment, and how much is the tax payment? 3%? So what are we gaining or relying on from what we have? What is it? So how do you improve your livelihood? How do you as a Liberian benefit from your wealth and resources? That now, as I'm speaking to you, I'm working on a bill that I call the Liberian Student Cadet Commission Act, the Liberian Students Cadet Commission Act, which I'm going to put on the floor sometime next week. I have found that even our little children that are graduating from high school or the age of 18, that are now going to universities, community colleges, they are self-supportive. There is no plan for government to help them in any way. They just leave them to fend for themselves. So this act must establish a commission that even as when I was a small boy, I used to know that we used to be doing part-time job that we call vacation job when school closed, 2 months vacation job. If this commission can focus only on children, on our students, to keep them in school that are being self-supportive, by having this commission fighting to make sure that students go to school, by having vacation jobs, and everybody tells you you're not qualified to work because you just came out of school, but a vacation job can give you overtime, can make you to accumulate the time needed as an experienced person that is working. Look, all I'm telling you, nobody is perfect here. But you who got the platform to speak to thousands, if not millions of people, should join. What we should join is not about dunking, it's about the Liberian people. Understand the philosophy, understand the idea, grab it, and I tell you, within a year time, all of our children will be conscious. Leave the old people now than us. Because our minds are fixed. They don't, everything we want to do in this country is to curse and condemn leaders now. The very iron ore that Asila Bittel takes from here, that she took over the 6.7 metric tons from here. It is the iron ore that today the causing lawmaker for getting a $45,000 car. Because it is our iron ore that they take from here, they carry, they fix cars with, and return it to us at charge. So the least cost of a car in Liberia, a brand new car, is $45,000. It's the least cost of a brand new car. So if you buy a car for government officials, you must at least have $45,000 to buy that car. Everybody in the country, wow, that is a big money. $45,000? Okay. If the $45,000 car is not bought, there is no other car you can buy for less price in this country. So look at the pickup and thing that they got around Toyota pickup there, have no spring for any comfort, but they give it to you. So we that live places like Sino, before we get from Grand Bassa, because running there on the quota, nothing wrong, but get off the quota and get on the highway. When you finish bouncing to get to Sino, your whole back is hurting. But they say, oh, it's too expensive. But they're not looking at the minerals that they take from here, that they send over there, that Liberia is not benefiting in any way, that brings those finished products back to Liberia and charge us 10, 20 times the cost of taking them from Liberia.
Senator Duncan, are you also willing to sit with the president with such enlightenment.
Yes, going up and down, no way. When I hear about you, I go to Koya about the menacing from buying this menacing. I'm feeling healthy than the way I was before. So my people who listening to me, the menacing, the good menacing, that it make me to be alive today. God, the first, second, this menacing.
So what kinds of sickness you are suffering from?
Let me come to this politics. To the politics a little bit, because what I'm talking is not politics, is the reality. Whether listeners like it or not, that's the facts. I have documents to prove it. But what I'm trying to do, let me play only politics there with you. George Weah was elected as president of this country. A young man, vibrant, handsome-looking man. All the young children like him. He played football. That drive, everybody, Weah. The opportunity was given to Weah simply because Weah was someone who came from the slum, from the least places that anyone can live. So people identified with him, knowing that he suffered, he knew what it means to be hungry, he knew what it means to be suffering. He became president. In 6 years' time, he proved himself to the Liberian people. The Liberian people who voted him overwhelmingly, the only county that did not vote for George Weah was Lofa County. All 14 counties voted for him. What happened after 6 years? They realized that they were disappointed. Now it comes to Oben Boyka. Oben Boyka is an old man. The word old man is not like my name, that my grandfather name that I carry. They call me old man, Cretan Donkey. No. Boyka name is Joseph Njima Boyka. But we call him old man Boyka because of his age. Now, the Liberian people look at Weah as a young man and threw him out. They brought an old man in. And you know my calculation, you know why they brought him in? They brought Boyka in because they know that the president is old, that he will not be afraid of the West, that he will not be afraid of anyone in transforming our policies or changing our policies for Liberian to benefit. And so they elected him as an old man not to be afraid of death. Because if you look at the history of our leaders, you see, man, the President Talbot said, Talbot was one of the unfortunate ones. He said after 1980, there will be no imported rice in Liberia. From mat, I would take my people they will sleep on mattresses. That was his philosophy. They brought Rest Riot on Talbot. Rest was expensive, they killed Talbot. Talbot died today. But the ideology that they killed Talbot for, nobody knows. The ideology that they killed the Libyan leader, Gaddafi, nobody understands. The ideology that they ran Kwame Nkrumah from Ghana to go into exile in Guinea and die there, nobody understands it until it took Jerry Rawlings. He came in with the hard hand, and Jerry Rawlings' policy transformed Ghana today, and Ghana is on the red path. So what I'm trying to tell you, people, it's about people standing up, and I expect the president to stand up, not to be afraid whether the West will poison him or the West will kill him or they will let him transform the policy. Do
you sense anything that he's not standing up as an old man?
I've done that.
I'm asking you.
I only brought that in. He has to take the bull by the horn, face the cow, and as they coming to him, he grabbed the two horns and wrestle with it. Then when he leaves power, our young children's lives will be improved.
I want to ask you, Senator Duncan, what are some of the challenges you lawmakers actually face with? If you're a senator, if you look at on the overall, what are some of the challenges and how do we
Very simple, party politics. Very simple. Party politics.
You think it's hindering the growth and development of the country?
100%. Why? Because our ruling party supporters that are in the various houses don't want the ruling governance to be seen as weak and falling short to opposition. And as that, they will do all they can. As a matter of fact, they will be looking at wrong and letting you know that it is right. Like you know now, like the policies of the government sometimes when it comes to getting people out of job, like people with tenure positions, those kind of critical. I'm not going to talk much about all kinds of things, but just that tenure by law, when someone is appointed, they must stay there for a certain time. Now, if you in the House or in the Senate, and your president says what he wants to say, instead of you as a senator or congressman, I mean as a representative or legislature, get up and say, no, Mr. President, you know this is not right. No, nobody wants their leadership to be seen as weak. So you will never get support or overwhelming support because it is about party separation and party's accomplishment. And that is the worst thing you can ever do. People now should begin to forget, look, when you are elected and get there, to hell with party. To hell with party. It's about the Liberian people now. But hey, I'm not angry with the House, neither the Senate. You know why? Because of our time now, the Liberian people are just getting involved in politics, participatory politics. Over the years, we had a Tory party. Before the Tory party, they had a name of the mulattoes, because when they came over here, the free slaves came, the mulattoes were the leading force. Why? Because the mulattoes were allowed to learn how to read and write, because their fathers were white and their mothers were the black slaves. So they taught them how to take numbers down, counting the cartons, the bags, stacks. So they had the ability to read and learn. The typical black man during slavery time was barred from learning how to read and write. They were just farmers on the field. So when they came to Liberia, that was transcended here. So what happened? The mulattoes began to rule because they could read, they could write. What happens over the time? The majority of the black free slaves were able to conquer the few minority mulattoes. And that's when the Grand Old Tory Party was formed, and headed by E.J. Raw. Edwin J. Raw was the first black, real dark-skinned man to become a president of this country. Now, I just gave you something to understand why the House and the Senate still have time to learn. And sometimes you act ahead of your time. And so after E.J. Raw, the majority blacks of the free slaves took over the country, and they had a one-party system. That one-party system lasted until 1980, when Samuel Doe overthrew. Samuel Doe took power. There was no democracy. He was a military man up to 85. He transitioned from military to what? To civilian, and became elected according to him. He became elected. He kept it on until just recently when Charles Taylor and Prince Johnson then put war in the bush and they got rid of Samuel Doe. So after that, when Liberia started to begin to settle, I tell you, the first democracy in this country began with Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and George Weah. This is our time. When history has been written 100 years that we would not be here, that's what they will be telling us. So I understand, and also to that, since we haven't been practicing politics for years and we're learning it now, it will take us time gradually to improve the mental ability, how we see it.
Senator, you represent the people of Sando County. Probably this is a case study you have seen, felt the living condition of the people. On the overall, what's the living condition like for people in Sando when you look at it on
Destitute.
average?
Destitute. People can't afford a bag of rice. People can't afford to send their children to school. People can't afford to do nothing. Where is the job opportunity there? Where is the educational standard there?
What are you doing to attract investment as well?
But no, this, and I didn't come here to boast. That's why I'm telling you, I can.
No, I'm not talking about your personal intervention in trying to alleviate some of the burden on the folks. So far in this country, since my ascendancy, I can boast of bringing 4 companies in this country that are personally operating. And you care to name them?
No, I will not. And the reason I wouldn't do it because I didn't come here to boast.
Okay.
What I want us to know is the strategy that is keeping us in poverty. We should begin to look at it differently than to be holding us to corruption and keeping us poor. It is corruption plus 90% is policy. And that this policy, when changed, will be able to help our people. That is the bottom line. And that is why I'm not discussing party politics. I don't even want to identify myself with any party. And you heard me describing George Weah failure. And I'm talking about Boyka, who is there for 1 year and a half, could change it over the period of the 4.5 years that left for him. So I don't care about party.
Okay, Senator, let me come to you. You talk about eye opener. You recently involving the Chinese embassy in Liberia and the U.S. embassy. You hailed the Chinese embassy over the U.S. embassy. Is there any special reason? Or the diplomatic denial issue?
Yeah, but it's not about Chinese embassy or United States embassy. We have been friends with the United States for over, I don't know how many years.
Very long time.
I'll give you one story. You saw that Donald Trump put Haiti on a list that no Haitian can come to America. What it tells you, they believe that black man is not capable of governing himself. Haiti was the first black slave group that became an independent country in the world during the trading of slaves of the black man. Up to today, chaos has always been in Haiti. Nothing is happening in Haiti. Liberia, as much as we claim independence, they never even recognized Liberia until 10 years after. Up to today, they still feel that we are not competent. And some of us are being fooled that the IMF and the World Bank are our best friend that keeps us going. I tell you it's not. It is what they believe. The World Bank and the IMF were never established to assist black Africa or sub-Saharan Africa. Never. It was established to rebuild Europe after World War II. And that's what they did, using our resources, our African resources to build Europe and to build themselves. America never was touched during the war, the World War II. So nobody destroyed her economy, nobody touched her banks, nobody demolished her homes. So that's how America became #1 after World War II, because nobody touched her. And so the US dollar, as a matter of fact, the US, you got to understand history to understand where our suffering is. The US dollars, America, what she did, she started telling Europe then to bring all her gold to Fort Knox in order to keep it for them, to keep it on their behalf, and that the US dollar should be the one backing, because she was the only superpower now. Everybody took her gold. Then what happened when Richard Nixon came? He defaulted on that. As a matter of fact, he closed the door on it and made American dollar to be going out with all with all gold backing. So American dollar became nothing at the time, but it was just the mere fact that it's United States dollar. When they knew that they were going to bring problems, they went to Saudi Arabia, the world's largest producer in oil. And what did they tell them? They struck a deal with the Saudi Arabian that the American dollars now must be the petrodollar. It must back all the currency, all the oil purchased in the world. So if anybody want oil, you must use the US dollar. That deal was struck. Based on that deal, the American dollar became stronger, because before you have it, you must be able to, before you can purchase, you must be able to have it. And today, why are we benefiting from it? That is not our money. In order to get US dollar, you have to. So that is why they have designed a strategy that we cannot produce, we cannot be self-sufficient, we cannot live on what we need. They will never go to agriculture ministry, call the agriculture minister now and ask him. They will never support Liberia self-sufficiency in rice production. They will prefer you producing cocoa, coffee, coconut, and name the different things that you will be able to supply to the market. And they will encourage the entire Africa to do so, so that the supply can be overwhelming, which will keep the prices low for them to enjoy. But go and try to produce rice in Liberia to become self-sufficient. You'll be just President Togo. And why am I saying that? 200 million United States dollars is used by Liberians to purchase rice in this country every year or more. Because it's our staple food. Everybody eat it.
Sure.
And you overlook how many rice you buy. Like in my house now, with so many, 5 bags of rice lasts us for 2 weeks. So think on how much am I spending at $18 or $17 for that bag of rice every 2 weeks time saver. So that 200 million, they will never, as Africans, allow you to stop that 200 million from going to them. This is a business market for them. And so they will never help you to improve. And so we must begin to understand it, that they are not people that we can rely our future on.
So how do we get out of the situation?
That's what I'm saying. Grab the bull by the horn. Look at your policy, transform the policy that will benefit Liberians and Liberians only. If we don't have the money, we can hire them. That's what the law says. The minerals in the country is for us. So it fights for Liberians. If we don't have the capacity, we can call anybody and say, hey, look, come. Take 30% of this thing and help me, and let me get my 70% out. Hey, I will pay you $1 million every year. Help me to get my mineral out. We can begin transforming, but as long as we stay on the track, my brother. And then, don't think the mineral will last forever. No, even waterway dries. Even in sub-Sahara, but in the desert now, where North Africa is, water used to be there. And the water dry out. The fish that were in those seas then dry out. They're not there anymore. Think about minerals that you are mining. You think it will still be there forever? Look at the other crook that came here. They call them the one that in Cape Mount. No, not Beer Mountain. The other group that called it
Western Cluster.
Western Cluster came in our country not to mine, but to take the iron ore that has already been mined. Can you imagine? Liberians can do that, woman, man. Well, how sick can we be? That the people who mined it and made it out of mountains, hills, big hills, packed, stock loaded those things. We are not capable of just taking trucks to transport it to the port and ship it in some ship to sell for ourselves. But we had to go bring someone to come and do it. And then we say that employment. Now, the time is over. They're supposed to be coming next year for renewal to start mining according to it. But they finish, they not get their millions from carrying those things just by sitting on the surface of the earth. And when they come back, they will be happy to renew. That's keeping us poor. Stupidity is keeping us poor. Our incapacitation. You see, so these are some of the things that will be, look, it's not about me fixing it. No. It's about us. That's why you see me sweating talking to you. So we're looking for people. If you don't do it, I swear, I bet any Liberian, if we change our livelihood, then the old people, the thing I will tell you yourself will not believe it. It will never happen in our lifetime.
And Senator, there are others into the cabinet, especially the government officials. Their workings have been not favorable. Like recently, the issue of Labor Minister, Councillor Cooper Cry, will be a heavy debate onto the floor. And you recently talked about asking plenary to invite the Commerce Minister upon with rising price of commodity on the Liberian market that is increasing suffering. There are officials of government who are from the executive that are skipping the arms of you people who are lawmakers who confirm them, and their behavior are becoming unbecoming towards the Liberian people. What are you doing? What are you doing about that?
Repeat that. The what?
Their behavior against the officials of government, for the executive, the cabinet ministers,
you confirm
to what Liberian people, you confirm them, their workings are not in line with what they are being confirmed to do.
The necessary checkpoints for them, and the feed.
That's why I mentioned too, the Cooper Cry and the Commerce Minister.
You see, the issue of the Labor Minister, I know the councillor, he's a well-learned man. I think the mistake is from we the Liberian people. We are allowing the Ministry of Labor to contribute to our national budget. As I told you, I'm here to face the facts, not to blame. If you require the Ministry of Labor to contribute to the national budget, what are you telling the Labor Minister? You are putting him under pressure to contribute money. How does he generate money? Not by sweeping the street, not by building shops. It's by issuance of work permit. Now, he feels that his contribution, and I'm not him, I believe that he feels that his contribution to our national budget must be how many issuance you made in that year period. So, if we begin to change our policies, knowing that it is a security matter, national security matter, that our people must be employed. You have 10,000 people. Look at GVL in Sino. I'd like to bring it down domestically to my county.
Mm-hmm.
The contract, which they call the MOU or the whatever that brought GVL into Sino, indicated that after certain years, our people will be trained in order to take over the expats who started running this company as it relates to different technical areas. But yeah, GVL there. If you ask the labor minister how many work permits that GVL has, I would not be surprised if he tells you GVL got about 300 or 200 work permit of aliens doing job that Liberians can do. So these are some of the things. So should I come and say Cooper Cry not qualified, or Cooper Cry deceiving the Liberian people? No, it is the pressure put upon him. So if we can tell him, say, hey, stop. We don't want you contributing to this budget. We want you to fix the system. We want you to make sure Liberians are employed in areas that Liberians should be employed. Cooper Cry will not be under any tension. He will not be under any pressure. That is my side.
Okay, shortly we'll go to the lines, but before then, this broadcast has been relayed on Radio Buta, the voice of Sino Community Radio, and D3 Radio in Government Camp, all in Sino County. And we have over this morning the Senator of Sino County, Senator Creighton Odonkin. He's here with making his case, talking about Liberians, alleviating Liberians from poverty, and we're here this morning. So you can start to put in your calls on 0775-919-919, 0880-919-919. You speak and speak with ability. Move away from your radio. Let's talk to our callers on the line.
Good morning.
Yeah, Kip, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for your recognition this morning. Honorable Senator, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for your come and inform the Liberian people and the Senate. And those who come with equity must come with clean hand. And furthermore, our station, UFN. Senator, you shouldn't forget about UFN. Our people, they are making better things for us, for the nation, for the citizens to be informed. The market and the hospital and the other thing that you have built down there. My question to you, it belongs to the country or is a personal property? Thank you this morning.
Okay, he will respond to that. Let's talk to our callers. You live?
Good morning, Wiki, and good morning, Jonathan. This water ESA to calling from district number 8, Bena County.
Yeah, go ahead.
Wiki, first let me say thanks very much to the senator. You know, I've found the senator when we represent that now working at the capital on Langway. Look, he are pushing saying out there. Wiki, the same thing happening with Meta. Now Meta are raising one to upload that tell you. Now, all the affected community money are so okay. My dear brother, we are not receiving anything. Now, they are invest 1.4 million to Meta. But then you see all the old horses are still standing because they raise the money and promote that country. And we are here, we are not getting anything. So, on Ogongi, first let me say thank you very much for the idea. I follow you from the day you enter to the Senate, you read that issue. I won't go to put your feet down. Another issue about party, the issue about Liberia. We as the young people are coming, some of you here for the 3, for the 4. He has speaking on behalf of our children we are born. Now God bless you and you continue with your advocating will support you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let me talk to former Justice Minister, Councillor Peter Bonojala. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Senator.
Good morning, sir.
It's really a good job to explain the issue. But I beg to differ with him on what he's there for ministry. There is nothing wrong with ministry or agency being requested to contribute to the national budget. And the excuse we give is absurdity. The reason I'm saying this is because what is going to contribute to the budget it doesn't allow you to violate the core principles or rules. Thus, I indicated earlier when we are told, if you issue a work permit and the person comes back or renewal, it doesn't mean an automatic review. If he decided to give for the reason of giving the permit, must be examined before renewal to see whether it persists. If it doesn't, the work permit can be denied. So I think like you should violate other corporations because you don't contribute to budget. That's the fact. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
for
Council.
being part of the conversation. Let me talk to another caller. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Brooks. Good morning, Mr. Barr, and good morning to the senator who's today.
Go ahead, Basigia.
My name is Basigia Gayas, and I joined the show from where the senator was criticizing concerning the labor ministry. And like on what that just said, the act that created the labor ministry did not say that act was meant for the labor ministry to contribute to budget. As a land asset in that identical act that created. So I don't think the senator should be going around. When most of them have jobs and you put personal income taxes from their money, when the purchasing power is good, and they can go to the market and buy, and they travel with buy gas because they are transporting themselves, or they have work out their own, or they get houses and they pay for taxes, all those contribute to the budget. So for you to argue that because the labor ministry should contribute to the budget,
All right.
meaning that just we should not have jobs. Let's get all the jobs of foreigners and generate millions for work permit all the year.
Okay, thank you.
I think
The senator will respond.
No,
That
thank
question
you,
was
thank
just a
you.
side question I was asked.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Senator.
I think they are misunderstanding me.
Mm-hmm.
We are finding the root causes of our suffering.
Okay.
I'm not saying it is a right thing to do. Hell no, it is not.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is, if, first of all, it is a national security issue. I said that. It is something that Liberians should be doing to improve their livelihood that foreigners are taking over doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying the problem there, I am finding the problem. Yeah, my mission is to, what I think the problem is, find it and identify it, and we look at it and solve it. I'm saying that in as much as they are contributing to our budget, I believe in order to fix it, let them leave this contribution. They should stop contributing for now to refix the issue of the labor matter. Mm-hmm. And that is, it will reduce the pressure from Cooper Cra, the minister, mm-hmm. to contribute a lot of money to be seen as working, as contributing. Mm-hmm. Because if you allow him to contribute, the only thing he thinks about is how much money am I contributing? Put a stop to it. Fix the labor ministry. Make sure all of these people that are working, doing jobs that Liberians can do, let the Liberians go and do them. And take the pressure off him, telling him, how much, my man, we need money for the budget. How much you bringing? How much you bringing? Labor ministry cannot contribute any more than getting work permit from our foreigners that come in this country. So that is fighting our people.
One of the
and I want you to know, I'm not supporting any way, my brother.
Yes, Senator, one of the callers, the first caller,
he said
about
the project.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but my brother, you have said no. Yeah, you're a politician, that's why you listen to the radio and you are participating. When you go to these communities to carry on project, you don't buy land to say, y'all give me, I can't buy one land, or y'all write the deed in my name before you build. No. You go to the community, you ask them, what is your problem? When they tell you the problem, you say, okay, you show me a place where this project will be built. And the community they show you that land. It is on the land you build. So the first thing, the land owners own whatever comes on that land. So if I build something there, it can never be. How am I going to build a school building there for me on the property of the people? So we don't own. We just build and give it to the people. That's all we do.
Okay, so let's go back to the line this morning and talk to some of our callers on the line. Good morning.
Good morning, huh?
Go ahead.
Yeah, me say good morning to the Honorable Senator Yesiro, Honorable okay, my name is Kepra Guru. I join you from Ramoki Highway to give you side around on that topic. Let me appreciate the Honorable Lawmaker for a great work that he is doing with Insano County. For me, I'm not there in Insano County, but my dear brother is Insano. He's telling me the lot of work the Honorable Man is doing with Insano County. So let me bless him. He gave me with the community. The Honorable Man, I can see the level of work that he has done. When you get to the Honorable Man, place it to what village. That's to say you represent him on Colorado. So let me appreciate it. Say thank you, and that's what bless you for the work that you are doing.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for telling me the name of the owner. You live?
Yeah, Nathaniel, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Let me say good morning to the Senator, Honorable Donny.
Good morning.
You know, the last time I heard the name Duncan was when he was working with Mel Jones at the Central Bank. And because he heard about some good things about him as well. And listening to the Senator this morning, he sounds like somebody who is very innovative. And so I want to say, always say, thank you, and keep up the good work, and always try to be nationalistic. So the issue, the fact that, you know, our leaders of this generation need to be innovative. Some of the things I heard the Senator saying, talking about the Gaddafi, talking about the late president, talking about all of some of the guys that were doing well for that country. Those guys came with an idea that would work, and we all of our time could do the same. Like for instance, concessions in our country that are not been working our interest as a country. I think we have to like sit down around the table this time around. Our leader ought to sit and think about what we've done, what kind of strategy, what kind of mechanism we can be able to bring about that will ensure that our people can be able to get the that impact of the endowed resources. For instance, 3 days ago, I called on the radio here. I said something. I said, there's a need, in fact, that all concessions are going to be able to have share. Assuming that as long as is having a business in a bureau, then we'll have 20%, 30% share. What big about that? Okay? Going further on, we will have a share. And then we can also be able to tell those people that are managing our share, hey, please be careful with those shares. Ensure that our people down the line can have shelter. They can have food to eat. They can have their children's school fees being paid. They can have good classes that for their children to go to.
Okay, thank you. Let's talk to other callers. You live? Go ahead.
I'm never more calling them because the owner is gathering the Senator still. He gave a better manager and most of all the ground to choose. So I appreciate you and so we thank you for the program. Thank you.
Thank you. You live?
Good morning. My name is Imai Enkelema from 77 community. We keep growth. We need people that didn't represent the black people. I'm not for the place there. I keep for Lufa County, but for why I help monitor the senator, you will be one of the best senator in the bureau. Now people are for disrespecting one can go and start insulting other people go. But for the senator, let me say bravo to you. I think we need people that they in the house. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Let's talk to this caller on the line. You live?
Good evening, Chief.
Go ahead, sir.
My name is Ebrahim and hello?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I do appreciate the senator this morning for, praying and I did listen to it in Hasa, Sabah show, but we yes, the thing sometimes, these things, they do the analysis, how to do, how to make Liberia better. But, we have listened to, many talking, and at the end of the day, there's nothing. So, really, what are they really doing to congratulate that will really, affect the livelihood of the people instead of get talking, yeah. And so, for me, that is my question this month. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Good morning.
Right, go ahead.
This is Society United, and let me say bravo to the senator there. You know, the senator speak very well, and these are what we were expecting for Liberia to go on. And can you imagine, we want our Liberia to be given to Liberians. When you check the taxpayer, how many Liberians are paying? How many Liberians are paying tax? Only foreigners are paying tax. So at the end of the day, Liberia will not be built. And one thing I listened to the most talk about president in the world now, Burkina Faso president, in one of his speeches when he was speaking to other countries, he talked about Sierra Leone. I was never a part of who exporting gold. He talked about Guinea, he talked about Africa. But he didn't mention Liberia name. What was exporting law? What exporting IRO? He didn't mention Liberia name. You see? So we want a leader who will put Liberia on the map and give Liberia back to Liberians. When Liberians are being paid, when they are not unpaid, we will pay tax, we will pay shelter, we will be able to have full foods. You see, for none of this, and we want the president to be neutral. Any leader that will come to power when he be neutral, definitely the country will be built. But when we see president taking side, definitely everything will be in the brown envelope. Everything will be in the brown envelope. So thank you to the senator there, and we wish to see you coming up with more things. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Let's talk to the callers. You live.
Yeah, good morning, Wiki. Good morning, Donald, and good morning to the POJ. We can even say to this man, like, you know, the problem that grows problem is not based on the government, it's based on the levels of Senate. You know, the people are falling fewer problem in this country in the sense that the labor minister. Just imagine this man is poor and corporate, and because he get corporate, and ask them, oh, what would be our benefit? You know, the senator is not in the interest of the Liberia, but let it be honest.
I'm gonna take your time. I told you every time you call, take your time to talk so people can get you. You're part of former representative.
Now, let me hear about former representative. They study about the budget matter. These people are still embarrassed in this country. It is said that people, when they go, anybody go on after the go confirm people, they get ready to ask the people they have questions. They get one ask people, where is in the air below for us? That is why they senator making love, they're taking this country, they're making it go back.
I want to see EPS man who say EPS man can call everything wrong with it. Security man. Senator, let's hear from you.
Thank you. Thank you. Look, I like to hear the frustration, because when you are frustrated, then you become serious. And what? Because if you're not frustrated, you relax. And everybody I'm hearing is frustrated about what is happening to our country. The caller said that we're not doing nothing to change their lives. I agree. I'm not going to deny it. But this is how the country has been going. And so now we're beginning to understand it. And so one man can't do it. He should also join us. He should talk to his children. If I am able to convince 10 persons in Liberia in my lifetime on the right thing to do to transform this country, those 10 people will be able to go and do 10 times 10 or 100 persons. And that's how this economic liberation is going to take place. But as long as we don't want to start, we don't want to identify the facts and leave this criticism, because as I told you, that's all they want us to do. They want us to criticize, curse one another, condemn one another. As we are fighting, then they honor us mining, they honor us taking our resources. Look at our log. First of all, my brother, our logs, they got something on the log they call the annual ring. If you cut that log, they call it the cross-cutting way. You cut the stump from under that log. You look at the log from that projection, you will see rings. That the rings, every year, one ring go around. That means one plow go around the wood, so the wood get bigger. Another year, another plow goes and get bigger. That's how the wood grow. It takes our wood 25 years, 30 years, some 40, 50 years. Now, our investor the investor that we love so much, in Sino, we got, Sino port is the port that is used to transport logs out of this country. They come in there, you got about 5 companies, you got Grange there flooded with companies. All they do is to cut those trees that took 25, 26, 30 years to grow. They then put it on a log truck, drive it to our port and ship it out. No employment opportunity. How many persons does it take to cut a tree and put it on a log truck and then ship it? Even the yard that they claim to be the head offices in the county there, you go there and see how many persons you will meet there. Maybe you will meet 2 security men sitting onto that gate. You will meet 3 persons inside the office. That's it. 5 persons into a whole law company. But if those trees are cut down and we demand that they transform them into lumbers, into timbers, into plywood, do you know how many persons? Vempla in Sino, when I was a little boy, 7, 8 years old, Vempla was there. I tell you, Vempla had an employment of over 100 human beings transported to Vempla every morning to work and go back home. What I'm saying to you is forget about condemnations. It is time that we should leave it now. Let all of us understand what is hurting us, what is bothering us, and we form ourselves. Even if it costs you, I just told you. I said in the houses, both representative and senator, I'm not hiding this from you. Everything there is about party politics. So when you, the citizens, are educated to these facts, you will pressure, you will force us. My one, if I go now and tell them, let's transform, let's do this as I'm doing. Some guys are buying it, but others will not, because they will feel it's a weakness of the existing government. But I can assure you, all of those concessions are to come back. Even if I'm not able to make sure that it is not passed, you will hear my voice on the concessions. There will be no concession that will pass, our voices will not be heard. We may not be in a majority to override because it's democratic. But the fact is, stealing from the Liberian people is what keeping us poor. That's the first thing you must understand. But I now know that it will take time because everybody's mind is, oh, that the senator that's stealing, the representative in a rogue, the other minister, he the biggest rogue ever. So that concept is building in our head.
But Senator, you mentioned earlier on, I want to bring it back. How many persons there at the Senate are of your kind that are pushing to see that the right things are done?
I would say I'm not criticizing.
Yeah.
Everybody there is for the purpose. But on the floor, people that are standing up and talking without fear. I see James Barney from Maryland.
Yeah.
And I don't care how angry you are, the most of other people are with Darius Dillon. There are some things that Darius stands up and he talks firmly about.
Okay.
All right? The others are mature. So maybe they are not as fast as us.
Because I'm asking this question.
Just like to shout and make the noise.
Yeah.
They are more, I could say, they are more mature. They are absorbing what is happening and they are strategizing.
Okay.
But the first ones that don't look back when they're talking, I see Darius, I see Barney, and I see myself.
Okay. The reason I'm asking this question, there are other rural counties that face the same problem as Sano County. So I'm asking us whether they themselves are talking Alexa of rural G County, like you said, Maryland.
This is a new phenomenon.
Okay.
All along, we have only been concerned on, Minister can sit down here. What are you doing there? What happened in there? We are leaving the real causes of our frustration and our poverty and looking at it from a different perspective. So this is a new phenomenon. And so we are praying that maybe before the year end or before next year end, a lot of other senators and representatives will understand it and join.
How far are you taking this fight? Because I see, like for instance, let me take an example. There at the lower house, if you see one representative fighting, go out, putting the issue on the floor, people follow him. The next thing you hear that he's running for senator. And you now at the Senate, how are you going? Are you having an ambition to contest for president tomorrow? Because people calling the people senator, they now calling the people senator. This is beyond Sano County now.
Let me tell you something. My father died when he was in his 30s.
Okay.
I can say that I've almost doubled his age. Right now, I just don't care. God has given me a long time to live.
Okay.
I don't want to be old and people turning me upside down on my bed before I can die. I feel that is, of course, that longevity. I don't want that. God carry me now, that my children and my friends will be crying for me. I had a death, you see there by the crying. So I'm saying I have thought to myself that I should contribute something to our country. Okay. It's taking me a long time to think about it. Okay. The positions I find myself in now, I have the platform to do so without fear. And so I will do it. If it costs me to take it to the people, I will do. If it costs me to move from county to county and challenge the existing government for not holding the bull by the hand, I will do it. So I just don't care about anything now. I got a bed that I can sleep in. I got a means of at least eating a dry rest when day break. What else do I need? Well, I got my children now. What do I need? I don't care for money because we're not rich, we are poor people. So what am I going to get rich? Hell no, that's not the point. The point is now, let's tell these foreigners, let's tell these so-called people that call partners, that know that they are exploiting us and holding Liberians responsible for being poor. I tell you now, no, it's not true. It is you, the one that is making us poor, because you threaten our leaders. You make our leaders to do things that they're not supposed to do because of the fear of your intimidation. Mm-hmm. The way you talk to them privately when only you and them are sitting at the table one-on-one, having those meetings. There are lots of things they do to threaten them, and they know it as leaders. You remember John Weah left from here, went to the CIA headquarters, mm-hmm. and up to today nobody knows what happened to that CIA, what happened in the CIA headquarters. How can a leader, CIA deals with criminality? Mm-hmm. It's just like how on the CIA Liberia. NSA. The NSA. Mm. NSA call me now. When NSA call me that for support, no, I have to be some threat to this country or something that NSA is concerned about the stability of this country and they want to inquire. So you take John Weah and send him to a CIA headquarters in America, and up to the day, the country was never told why. Let me tell you one thing about our people, and I want us to continue to understand, because this fight is a very serious fight. What is actually happening is, look, our country, sometimes when I sit down and think about it, my head just hurt. My head, let me answer questions, yeah?
Okay, recently the president, along with the chief executive officer, has still with just commissioned the concentrator, and they said that in West Africa will be the first of its kind.
What is that word? What does that mean, concentrator?
To make a refined iron ore now instead of just carrying.
So when it is refined, what do we do? They will send it to us? So what it is doing is making them they call it value added for them. Mm-hmm. Instead of taking a total raw, putting on a shape that is more heavy because you carry dye, you carry, you pay per tons, right? So if 1 ton for the ship to carry is $5, let's assume, and include wasteful material that is not needed in the country, what they are now smartly doing is to take all of those dye from here and put the actual tonnage on the ship to carry. What is the benefit of it? They say, oh, they will employ 2,000 Liberians. That lie. We have been here and we have seen concession that says they will employ 20,000, this 1,000. Does it actually happen? Hell no.
Okay, so let's hear your parting comment.
Well, thank you. Well, I don't have much to say. The only thing I want to say to our people, let's stop condemning, because this is what our partners want us to do. Look at the sanction that has been taking place in our country. They accuse or sitting official of government of something that we don't know as a country what they are accused of. And then they put a sanction on this person. There was a meeting held at the Senate, in one of the Senate rooms, with some American officials that met with the Senate. And I asked them, I said, you put sanction on us, on some of our employees, some of our colleagues, but you haven't told us what they did. How can they exonerate themselves? The entire Liberian people happy that they can identify somebody and say, we put them on sanction, and you see potency, yeah, they're on sanction. But you're not asking the technical question why. So I said, so how can they exonerate? You know what the guy told me? He said they have to send a lawyer to America in one of the courts, register the case, and then the lawyer will fight for them. And to win the case, they be exonerated. I said, so what is the case? And the man you have put on the sanction cannot go to America. They will be paying an American lawyer there. And you know how much they can charge per hour? You even get that money to do so. Somebody will charge you $2,000, $3,000 per hour to talk about your case. Now, when those that they put the sanction on in this country, our people celebrate those sanctions. They are not told why. Like Mele Nukwe, whether Nukwe can rob or he ain't can rob, they're not my business. But why all the time, according to their case that they say they have against it that we don't know, why is it when Nukwe encourage a jetty to build a factory in Bond County that will be able to refine the rubber and transform the rubber, he is now on sanction? Is it to protect Firestone? Now, we should not be celebrating the downfall of our leaders. This is how they do. They threaten our leaders and they will not be bold to tell you. So I am angry with President Boycott, and as I said, as I'm departing, he is old enough not to be afraid of death. I'm saying it publicly. Well, the young man still he didn't feel born his children yet. He's vibrant. He still have time to live. What the woman get to lose for him to transform this country and making these kind of hard decisions? That before our mineral leave from here, this must be done. Liberians should participate. You got Firestone calling themselves Firestone Liberia when no Liberian is part of their shareholdings.
Okay, Senator Credo,
we're going to have more of these interactions.
Yes.
This is your place where we have time to
stop condemning and let's find the solution.
Thank
Stop
you so much.
cussing and let's find the solution. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you so much this morning. That's how we draw the curtains on this weekend edition of the Morning Ride. With the groups Nathaniel by Andrew Gamo will talk to you.
Man, thank you. What kind of follow?
During the course of any criminal investigation, there is the kind of information that can be disclosed by the police to the public as to the state of the investigation, what has been done, what has been done, who perhaps the suspect may be, and audit